Hi everybody, and welcome back to Lost Genre Reddit Stories. I'm sorry if this is getting repetitive, but please go check out my new shorts channel. I'm sure you're gonna enjoy it. The link is in the description. And now let's get started with the story. This post is from the subreddit Relationships, and it's by user Confata. My supervisor at work, early 40s female, is almost certainly trying to seduce me, 31 male. I'm happily married. I also have a work trip coming up with just the two of us. How do I handle this? I've been working my current job for about a year and a half now. It's pretty cool, pays fairly well, and doesn't usually have long hours. It's been great because it provides a good life for me and my great wife, so I can't complain. In the first year that I've had the job, I've mostly had a great working relationship with my supervisor. Professionally, she is a great supervisor at work. She challenges me to learn new things, to grow my career, and always goes to bat and defends me from higher ups. She honestly has made me a better person professionally and is wonderful in that regard. Personally though, she's a little bit of a mess. She's a divorced woman around 10 years or so older than me. She has constant drama with her ex-husband that I've picked up on. She is very good about not bringing it into work, but I've overheard some phone conversations and she's told me a bit of it at times over lunch and stuff. She's also a huge flirt. I've never noticed it with anyone in the office, but she's used it as a tool at times at trade shows and such to push deals, for example. She's not an unattractive woman at all, so she does that fairly successfully. Up until about 2 months or so ago, I always dismissed that as a joke and not something worth worrying about. That is until some of that flirting started being directed my way. She'd sometimes done this kind of innocently as a joke in the past, which was easily dismissible, but lately it kind of feels like it's crossed the line a bit. She'll knowingly lean over so I can look down her shirt, will leave her hand on my shoulder a bit too long, make slightly sexual jokes and stuff like that. I brought it up with my wife 2 weeks ago. She was a bit conflicted. She's met my supervisor before and liked her, so on one hand she thought she was just being her usual self. Kind of like a female version of Michael Scott from The Office. But on the other hand, she does think it's a bit weird but doesn't really know what I should do. She's been my lifeline at work so many times and has defended me when most others wouldn't. I'd be putting myself into a really risky situation politically at work if I tried to initiate any conflict or risk my professional relationship with her. Here's the real kicker. I have a work trip coming up in about a month or so, where it will be just the two of us. We've done this twice in the past, obviously, we have 2 different rooms. We don't travel together, as she just lets me borrow her corporate card and make my own travel arrangements as long as I get a good deal. But I'll be meeting up with her in Vegas for a 3-night trade show thing. I'm concerned that her flirting might escalate things and that she'll try to pull something. While I don't have concrete evidence, I'm fairly certain that she's done this before. Not necessarily with anyone in the office, but with some other guys in the industry from other businesses. I really enjoy working with this lady, and I'm beyond appreciative of what she's done for me in my career. But I'm also extremely happily married, and I'm concerned that she's thinking about trying something on our upcoming Vegas business trip. Any ideas on what to do? Well, Loopy, the first thing is congratulations on telling your wife. That would have been the first thing I would have suggested had you not said that. It's great to know that you were able to confide in her and that she just didn't blow up on you or anything like that. Now, regarding your problem, there's still 1 month before that trip, right? So in this month, you have the time enough to diffuse this whole situation. I would think the first thing you need to do is start bringing up your wife more. Stuff like, oh, you know what, my wife said the funniest thing the other day, and you just tell that whole story. Or what you guys did for the weekend if you took a weekend trip or something. Or maybe even stuff that your wife likes if it can be used as a plug in a conversation. Like if you're talking about a TV show or something. Hopefully she'll kind of get the mood and stop making the sexually charged jokes if you keep bringing up your wife. If that doesn't work, well then maybe the next time that she cracks a sexually loaded joke, well then you just say that you're not comfortable with that kind of humor. That you feel awkward and you would appreciate it if she just didn't do those kind of things with you. Hopefully she gets the message and lightens up on that topic. And what do you guys think? What would you do if you were in OP's shoes? Let me know in the comment section, and now let's move on to the community comments to see what they said. Afrani Bourdain says, don't give her an opening. No moments where she can lean in for the kiss. No flirting back. Get back to your room early, etc. Unless she makes a truly bold move like hiding in your closet naked or something, you can get through 3 days without giving her the opportunity to even think about making a move. It's a weird situation, but at the end of the day, if you really don't want to F someone, it's pretty easy to avoid. Jasper Koska says, I suggest you wait and see what happens. Don't jump the gun on anything because your signs are fairly weak so far. In addition to that, I would kick the can down the road for now, so to speak. That is, don't give her a chance to try to hit on you or seduce you. Don't spend any alone time with her. Then, if the worst comes to pass, you can turn her down. And Opie responds, that's the trick, right? Unfortunately, I will be having a good deal of time alone with her. We've got a presentation the two of us are giving in Vegas, and I'll be working with her quite a bit in the upcoming month. Kat, the other white meat, says, I really hate that so much of this thread is about how OP can protect himself without hurting his harasser's feelings. I get really upset when women do this crap. Because for every one of these that's happening, there are 100 subordinate women saying, I'm being subjected to some really professionally dangerous sexual harassment and I'm scared and stressed. Women like me are saying, yeah, you know what? That is still a pretty nasty problem. And then 20 MRAs pipe up and say, it's not just men, women do it too. And trying to derail the entire conversation, and that just pisses me off. F women like your boss for giving them that opening. Well, don't actually F them. That would compound the problem. I hope HR nails her to the wall because this is some BS right here and I'd like to see it not fly or be coddled. Additional information from OP's comments. It's way too early to get HR involved. This behavior from her is pretty typical and she's not openly tried anything. I really don't want to risk my work relationship with her just because I might have misinterpreted stuff. The thing is, I've gotten to know her fairly well in the last year and a half, and I've certainly picked up on a lot of little things in the past few months that lead me to believe her intentions. And I don't think that it's me being passive, I'm just not sure what to do. I'm just ignoring it whenever she does something inappropriate for now. Basically just kicking the can down the road, as someone said. One particular example from last week. She joked about a threesome with me and my wife. That sounds horrible out of context, but she's pretty good about slipping things in like that and making it just sound like a horrible joke. I was just so dumbfounded and didn't know what to say, and she'd already moved on to a more work-related point. And honestly, in retrospect, it was just a dumb joke, other than any kind of suggestion. But still, like I said, pretty much a female Michael Scott. I'm afraid that inevitably I'll have to say something and shut it down and risk what to this point has been a great supervisor or mentor relationship. And this is the only thing that she does that's out of line. Otherwise, she's helped me tremendously in my career. I would love to have my wife join me, on my dime of course, and it's entirely possible, but she has an event at work going on that week that she's been working towards for the better part of 6 months and she can't miss it. In any case, there's no way I'd let her in my room. She'll inevitably want to work on stuff together though, so I'll insist on meeting downstairs in the lobby. Well, the community did give OP some advice, so he'll have some thinking to do. And that one commenter that was ranting about MRAs, I do think that she has the point that if the roles were reversed, there would be outrage. Anyways, we have 2 updates from OP, so let's move on with the first one. There have been a few small developments in the past 3 weeks. First, I found out a few more details about my trip next weekend. I'll be headed out from the nearby airport Wednesday and getting to Vegas that night. My supervisor is going to be there already and is going to pick me up at the airport since she'll already have a rental car. We have most of the day off on Thursday and she's told me that she wants to meet one of our clients Thursday evening for dinner. While I can't know for sure, I'm fairly certain that there is no client really coming to dinner Thursday. The show doesn't really start until Friday afternoon and only exhibitors are going to be there Thursday, not really attendees. I could be blowing it out of proportion, but after reading what everyone said here, my spidey senses are kind of tingling. I also noticed 2 little non-verbal things yesterday. She came into my office to check on a project we're working on and kind of sat on the edge of my desk, leaning over to check on something on my computer screen. Without going into detail, she did all of this in a way that was a little uncomfortably intimate. It's embarrassing and uncomforting because my male instinct kicked in and I found myself having thoughts I hated myself for. This is headed in a direction I do not like. I did some checking around yesterday and there's no way I can back out of the trip. I've already got meetings scheduled with colleagues and clients. Everything's booked in my name and is more or less non-refundable. Especially the high-cost vendor badge, which is non-transferable. I've also talked with my wife and tried to see if she can come along, but that's not really possible as she's got the biggest event of the year at her workplace to tend to next Friday and Saturday. I don't know what I can realistically do. It's the last flight out of a smallish town airport. I can't miss it without causing further issues. Transferring probably isn't a realistic option. We're just a small office of like 20 people. There aren't really other departments or anything. Also, I've already been quietly looking for a new job for the past few months because I didn't necessarily see room for growth here. Unfortunately, I haven't had any luck. Without any other prospects for the time being, I might just have to ignore her advances and grin and bear it until something comes along. I mean, I really don't know what to do. I'm almost literally between a rock and a hard place. If things escalate to the point that everyone here thinks it will, it's inevitably going to cause issues. Alright, so now let's just move on to the update to see what OP ended up doing, and hopefully he didn't become an a-hole. I just got back from the trip last night and things went, well, awkwardly. I followed everyone's best advice from the previous thread and mostly kept to myself and kept things professional as possible. I went ahead and arranged my own travel from the airport to my hotel this past Wednesday and feigned some excuses to not do anything with her until Thursday at lunch, when we met up to plan stuff for our booth at the trade show and to get it set up and such. We had normal chit-chat otherwise. She seemed comparably tame to how she's acted in the past, and my previous fears started to fade away. We got our booth set up, kind of went on our separate ways for a few hours to do some touristy Vegas stuff for a while. Met some colleagues from another company for dinner and called it a night because we both agreed that we'd want a good sleep before having to get up early and work a long trade show from 8 AM to 5 PM the next day. The next working day the show went fine. We were actually pretty productive. I politely turned down beers and such as they were passed around the show floor, opting instead for Diet Coke or whatever. The company hosting the show had a nice dinner and social hour for us afterwards, and I felt comfortable enough to have a Jack and Coke. I know my limits and knew that one wouldn't put me too far. Afterwards, I took a half-mile walk down the strip to go into a little Vegas trouble and lose a little money and had some fun. And got back to the hotel room about 9 so I could watch a movie and get to sleep early again. I felt good about the trip so far. Business was good, I was having a good time, and my boss was well behaved. At least until that point. This is where things got dicey. I got a call from my supervisor about 9:30 saying she wanted to go over some info before we had a meeting with a client early in the morning. She'd acted mostly professional to that point, so I didn't worry too much, but asked if she wanted to just meet me in the lobby bar, which she agreed to. We met up for a bit and she mentioned that she forgot a folder in her room and asked me to come with her because there was just one more thing she wanted to check on. This was kind of a red flag, but she'd been normal to that point, so I reluctantly agreed. We got back to her room and she got me the folder that had the client information that we needed to look over. She said she needed to use the bathroom really quick while I looked it over. After a moment, she comes back into the room in a bathrobe. I knew where this was possibly going and I immediately wanted out. I got up and said I'd better go call my wife and get a good night's sleep, but she kept asking questions about the client and what I thought. I kind of stammered through looking for an opportunity to leave, but she was sort of standing in the way where I couldn't just leave. It's all a blur at this point, but she dropped her robe. I looked away immediately, but she was standing there in lace panties and nothing else. I did not want to be attracted to her and give into any primal male notion, so I just kind of averted my eyes and slipped out the door and said I'd see her in the morning. I called my wife and told her what happened, and she was just kind of dumbstruck and didn't really know what to tell me. I felt so confused. Part of me was offended that she'd go that far, part of me was scared to death over what would happen next, and I'll be embarrassingly honest, that primal male part of me was a little excited that something actually happened. I even told my wife about it, and with her encouragement and a few fun Snapchat pictures she sent me, I visited certain sites on the internet and got that out of my system. The next morning, it was as if nothing happened. I was probably acting very awkwardly the next 2 days and tiptoeing around her, but she acted as if nothing happened. It was cheaper for the company to stay another night and fly out Monday afternoon, and I just totally kept my distance between the end of the show Sunday afternoon and when I left. The first day back in the office, she took an off day and wouldn't be back until the day after. I had no idea what to do. It was possible that she'd just never talk about it again. I was really going nuts thinking that if I try to bring it up with anyone here at the office, it'll just be my word against hers. It was a painful day. I don't know if I can just leave this job because I've already been looking elsewhere for other jobs for around 2 months now and haven't had much luck. One big problem is that we don't have HR in a traditional sense. We're a smallish company with around 20 people. We have one other lady that sort of acts as that office, but she's kind of BFF with my supervisor. It would really just be my word against hers, and I'd be in a politically tough situation. Anyway, to put this matter to kind of rest, I think things are going to sort themselves out, at least for the time being. When she finally came into the office, we talked. She was deeply embarrassed. She told me that she's going through some issues and apologized at length and in as many words begged me never to tell anyone. I haven't decided how to play things yet, but in the meantime, I'll just stick it out until I can find another job. My wife has a proper income, we can't complain, but I don't want my wife and I to have to endure any financial hardship because of my supervisor acting kind of crazy. I mean, if I quit today, we'd be comfortable for a few months, but things would get really dicey really quick after that. Anyway, thanks for all your support and advice. Well, OP, your whole situation sucks, so hopefully you can find a job and just get out of there. Unfortunately, like you say, it's your word against hers and you don't have any proof to back up your claims, so if she decides to be horrible about it, she can ruin your career. I do have to say that I was naively hoping that nothing would happen and she wouldn't try anything, but well, we know otherwise now. Anyways, all the best in the future finding a job, OP, and again, hopefully you can remove yourself from that situation. Take care and thank you for sharing. Now, in order to change the mood a little bit from this previous post, let's just do a quick petty revenge. And it's by user Nultrum. No drinks on raced surfaces? Okay. I work in a car detailing shop who just had gotten a new manager a couple of weeks ago. She has instituted multiple arbitrary new rules, but this is the worst of them all. Throughout the day, I share a desk with multiple other people. This desk is used to cash out clients, to write up and print invoices, and to sign up new clients. However, only one person is ever clocked in to use the desk at a time. When someone is using the desk, their things are placed there. Cell phone, a drink, etc. It has been this way for years because it's a desk. Sunday morning, there was a new note on the desk, stating that there were to be no drinks on the desk because it is a raised surface, as most tables are. Here's the petty revenge. The management desk, they all share one raised surface, is 40 feet from my desk. It had 4 drinks on it, and because it is a raised surface, the drinks shouldn't be on it. So the drinks got placed on the floor. And throughout the day, I removed drinks from raised surfaces to place them on the floor. She must have gotten tired of having to get her drink off the floor, and the note has been removed. Good job, OP. Just the right amount of petty to teach her a lesson. Thank you for sharing. And it's that time that we've reached the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed today's stories. I really did enjoy reading them to you. So if you did, then don't be shy and go ahead and give the video a like. And don't forget to subscribe or even share this video with people that you might think will enjoy my storytelling. Also, if you have the time, go down to the video description and check out all the links I have for you, from our Discord community to my channel merch. And finally, I'd like to say thank you for watching. It really means a lot to me that you enjoy my videos. And having said all that, I'll see you guys in the next video.